lot of my story involves just going back to my parents. My parents are from Vietnam, and they lived there in a time when Cold War tensions were at a high peak. So eventually they were able to save up enough money to buy a ticket for a boat. They were boat people from Vietnam, and they took my brother and went from Vietnam to any place that would take them along the Indian Ocean, hit every single refugee camp, and they were full. So on the last spot on their list of destinations, they were able to get in, which was almost a miracle because everywhere else was full. My parents settled there in the refugee camps for a few years, and that's where I was born. Eventually, we were able to immigrate to the United States and pretty much had nothing.
And they had another brother they had to leave in Vietnam because he was too sick to go on the boat. So he didn't come over till he was 17. So.
Yeah, so that's another thing my parents had to deal with is leaving their family. They pretty much came here with just my aunt and knowing no one else. My dad, first year he was in the United States, he got shot in the face. Someone tried to steal money he had, and he didn't have any, and he refused to give what little he did have to them, and he got shot in the face. The bullet's still there. And there's just so much more that he had to endure as well as that. Language barrier, finding jobs, and he and my mom endured all that and were able to give us such great opportunities in the future. And that's a large part of my journey to Ogden because I wanted to take full advantage of the opportunity they gave me. I wanted to become an educated person, and I wanted to take that as far as I could, and teaching is what I decided to do.
I think with kindergarten, it's each subject, especially in math that we work through, when the light bulb just turns on. That is like with subtraction, when they finally get it, the light bulb turns on. It's fun. That's when it's worth it to me. And because at the beginning of the year, it's really hard to get them in the routine, but by the end of the year, when they get the numbers and they can do subtraction with me, that's when my moment is. I guess I have a lot of those.
What I want you to do is kick Sage's butt. Can you do that? Yeah! Oh!
I see this moment, and I replay it every time I need a little bit of encouragement. There's a student a couple years back who had gotten 1 on the Sage, and the year prior, and she, as taking the test, was super nervous because it's a high stakes test. And the moment that I thought, wow, this is really what I should be doing, this is really what I want to continue to do, is when she said, wow, I feel really smart, Mr. Bui. I got a 3 on the Sage, which is proficient, which is passing. So going from a 1 one year to a 3 another, and just seeing the expression on her face and seeing just the amount of joy she got from getting validated and feeling smart and feeling accomplished was just, it meant the world to me. It really did. And I went from a new teacher to, I think, a pretty okay teacher, and I have the Ogden School District to really thank for that.
When I lived in El Salvador, I was born and raised there. I lived there until I was 15 years old, and then our residency was approved. My parents applied for it in the early 90s, and it wasn't approved until 2011, which it really took really long time, but I think the wait was worth it. So we moved to the United States in February 2011. Back in El Salvador, my dad was a teacher, so he was my teacher, and it was a really fun experience. So I always had that pressure to do well in school and get good grades and always be that exemplar student. And I remember that when I got here, I didn't speak any English, like nothing. And I was lost, I was frustrated. I remember that so many times I would take the homework to my house and I would just cry because I wouldn't understand anything. But my ESL teacher, this was Mrs. Balmer, she was amazing, and she turned to me like a second mom.
I believe she probably taught me more about realizing the American dream that I ever could possibly teach her. She was the kind of student who not only wanted to be successful herself, she wanted her peers to be successful. And I believe a lot of the newcomers that year, their success is partly owed to her enthusiasm, her support, and her modeling what a good student looks like. And so she helped not only herself, but she helped the rest of my class to be successful.
I remember that one of the best days was when I graduated from high school. And she was in my high school graduation.
I was very proud of her the day she graduated. I went to her graduation. She graduated with district honors, National Honor Society honors, and was an international baccalaureate candidate. And as proud as I was of her that day, I cannot wait for the day she takes the oath of allegiance to the United States as a new citizen. I'm so proud of her for pursuing this. It should be any day.
When people say, do you consider yourself successful? I kind of want to say yes, but I want to remain humble and say we have to put effort. Like, we might be in the right place at the right time, but if we do not put effort, then we're not able to accomplish our dreams or goals. So whenever I want to be kind of like a success story for those that are at the right place at the right time, but they don't think they are good enough to accomplish their dreams. If I was considered a success story, I think I would like to be useful for those individuals that they don't think of themselves as good enough.
I would like to say something to Sara. Sara, you would make an incredible teacher in the Ogden School District. Are you sure you want to go into business administration?